I feel like I said about 7 videos ago that I was gonna take down that tree, but here we are. I want to share with you guys some of the ways that I consistently get in more vegetables throughout my week. You could want to increase your vegetable intake for a lot of different reasons, but I think that the #1 reason that everybody should be getting in vegetables, no matter what their goals are, is because they're good for you. But specifically, vegetables are going to be very micronutrient rich. So they're gonna hold a lot of our different vitamins and minerals that, if we just think of it really, really simply, they're gonna be important for our immune system, our cellular health, and really helping to prevent our body from developing any kind of chronic illness. So I'm gonna share with you my top 3 tips over the next few days. Today, it is a Sunday, so it is prep day. So let's prep. So I actually have an entire video already like breaking down my exact Sunday prep that I typically go through. So if you want to, I will link that up here on the screen. But today's gonna be, again, more focused toward vegetables. So my tip with vegetables is preparation. Pre-chopped, pre-cooked, bagged, frozen, shelf-stable, like make it easier on yourself. Look, when we're tired or busy or just like plain unmotivated, the last thing we're gonna wanna do is choose the harder option, right? So why don't you make the more nutrient dense option the easier one? Because in the moment when you're making that decision, the last thing that you wanna do is choose the thing that takes work. The last thing you're gonna wanna do is choose the thing that's less fun. So by scheduling it in and making it as easy on yourself as possible, you're more likely to choose the nutrient dense option. So we're gonna go through, I'm gonna show you a few things that I just kind of always have vegetable wise, like ready to go, but then I'm also going to show you some of the things that we're gonna prep today. Whoa, freezer. Okay, frozen veggies. So I got corn. I usually have a bag of peas in here too, but I didn't replenish because I knew I wasn't gonna use them this week. Rice cauliflower. I don't necessarily use this as a rice replacement, but I will mix it with rice just because you can very easily add that little extra like vegetable into it. More frozen veggies, more frozen veggies. You get the idea. Okay, so in the fridge, I'm actually gonna meal prep these today. Ooh, we might be able to salvage this zook and do this today. A tomato, just because I wanted it. Yeah, let's do these guys today. So some potatoes, and then my go-to, bag salads. These actually aren't the salads that I usually get. These are kind of like bland. I usually like the ones that have like kale and Brussels sprouts and cabbage and all that good stuff. But unfortunately, I got my groceries, why am I so out of frame? I got my groceries delivered on the day of the snowstorm in New York, so the grocery store had nothing. So better than nothing, and I will eat it still. Okay, so this lighting's very yellow. So on our to-do list, we are going to chop these up, chop this guy up, and chop these guys up. Now, I personally am feeling motivated to chop up vegetables, which is why I have things that are not pre-chopped. But you might not feel motivated, and that's okay, because what's the option here? You're motivated, so you chop up your vegetables and you eat them, or you're not motivated, so you don't chop them up and then you don't eat them. So instead of thinking like, oh, I should just be motivated to chop up my own vegetables, who cares? You're not always going to be. Order them pre-chopped, buy them pre-chopped. Yes, it might cost you a little extra money, but if the option is just to not eat vegetables, I think it's worth the extra money. Now, obviously, I'm also saying this from a point of view that can afford to pay that extra money to actually buy them pre-chopped, and I'm fully aware of that. But also remember that frozen vegetables are pretty much just as cheap as the fresh ones, and they're gonna be just as nutritious. And a lot of times those come pre-chopped. So while I do understand that money can be an influence in what we are choosing in our diet, there are ways to still get in nutrient-dense options without breaking the bank. So anyway, we're gonna actually get set up in the living room because I really wanna watch the Dolphins-Patriots game. So I'm gonna set up on the table out here. We're gonna chop all this shit up and then we're gonna prep it. Let's go.
I've been dreaming about you, wish I knew what you were up to, wish I can.
We're gonna stop that so I don't get a copyright strike. All right, so it is time for lunch, but first Kevin and I are gonna go on a little walk because we need to pick up some things. So to hold me over, I'm gonna grab a little protein shake. All right, Owen sent me all of these awesome shakes over just to try out, and they've actually sent them to me before, so I was so thrilled that they sent them again. I'm gonna go this cold brew coffee one because it's delicious and I have a long day. But when we get back, we're gonna have some edamame spaghetti with some sneaky veggies with some protein. So I'm gonna specifically show you what that second tip is when we get back. Bye. second tip for you guys is to get in some sneaky veggies, meaning you can take an ordinary food that you love, that might feel comforting to you, and just sneak some vegetables in there. So I'm gonna take that pasta that I made, I'm gonna add in that ground turkey, nice and warm, nice and satiating, and we're gonna add in some vegetables. We got edamame pasta, ground turkey, Brussels sprouts, ooh, I'm running low, Parmesan cheese, Captain America. So I'm pretty lazy when it comes to reheating, so I'm just gonna do this in the microwave. If you've watched my videos before, you know that I just measure out using my hand. So your palm is gonna be the size of a serving of protein, cupped hand is gonna be a serving of carbohydrates, your thumb is gonna be your serving of fat, and then veggies is gonna be a fist. So I'm gonna do 1 to 2 servings of all of those things. So we got the goods, the edamame pasta's under there. We're gonna put her in the microwave. I don't know. Now it's time for the best part. Oh, Zoe. Cheese and good morning. My body is in shambles because I took 21,000 steps yesterday and danced a lot, and here we are. I just finished teaching, now I just finished editing the class, and we're gonna make some breakfast. So my third tip for you is to prep a veggie-based side. So what I did this week, I took that zucchini, I took that potato, and I made like a little hash. So what we're gonna do, we're gonna make eggs and veggies and potatoes. So let's do it. This looks, I'm trying not to spill it on my laptop. This looks so good. This is just one example of something you could do. There's endless options. And remember that this is very specific to my eating habits. I love to have eggs, I love breakfast food. So making like, you know, breakfast potatoes with vegetables already in it works for me. Another great example of something that's super simple is like chopped up tomatoes, onions, cucumbers, some feta cheese. You can toss that on the side of almost anything. Because the idea here, and this is something that I come across with my nutrition clients a lot of the time, is that they don't know how to get in more vegetables without like completely making another meal, and then they just feel like they're making 2 different meals, right? So by having that kind of go-to, like, this is my vegetable side and it's already made and I just throw it on the side of whatever I'm having, the easier you're gonna make your life. And always remember that nutrition is not one size fits all. So again, this option or that option I just said might not work for you. But I just think that, whoa, that's a good bite. Hot. Oh no. So I think we're gonna end the video here. If you guys have any questions about ways to get in more veggies, about different recipe ideas, anything like that, leave it down in the comments below. I'm gonna finish eating this in a much more ladylike fashion, but off camera, and I will see you guys in the next one.